Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. Hundreds stranded in rising floodwaters in southeast Texas. More unrest on college campuses, protests at graduations, and a new police crackdown. As hopes fade for a Gaza ceasefire, Israel signals an invasion of Rafah could come soon. We begin with the flooding in Texas. Torrential rains in an already saturated region. More than 200 people rescued from vehicles and homes. Some areas drenched with more than 20 inches of rain in a week. And now severe storms, including tornadoes, are headed for the Great Plains. Our weather team times it all out. Also tonight, universities criticized over the way they're handling student protests. The crackdown in the middle of the night at USC. Police removing students protesting the war in Gaza. Their encampments torn down. More graduations disrupted. And the NYPD investigates new threats against synagogues. Ceasefire talks hit a snag. Israel and Hamas both dig in. The Al Jazeera network shut down in Israel as the IDF appears ready to attack Rafah in the near future. Our new ABC News Ipsos poll shows the race for president is tightening. Former President Trump unloads on prosecutors what he said at a GOP fundraiser and the expletives he used that we can't repeat on TV. Plus, he was one of the lead prosecutors in the Georgia criminal case against Donald Trump until he was forced to quit over his relationship with the DA. Nathan Wade breaks his silence in an ABC News exclusive.
Do you regret it?
The urgent search for a 10-month-old baby apparently kidnapped after her mother and another woman were found murdered. Police are said to be desperate for tips. Catastrophic flooding in Brazil. Dozens dead, entire villages underwater. People taking refuge on top of their home. Photo finish, one of the closest Kentucky Derbies ever. The winner by a whisker. And the record-breaking performance, Madonna transforms one of the world's most famous beaches into her own personal concert stage.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Lindsay Davis. As we come on the air, southeast Texas is emerging from days of heavy rain, 8 times the typical rainfall there. First responders making hundreds of rescues in the past few days. And late today, we learned that a 4-year-old boy was found dead in the floodwaters south of Fort Worth. Throughout the region, rivers are overflowing their banks, washing out roads and flooding homes. These images coming in from Channelview, Texas. And in Hamilton, Texas, the floodwaters were so strong, this RV was swept away. There were no people inside, but 2 dogs did not survive. Tomorrow, the threat of severe weather moves north, stretching from Texas all the way to Nebraska. ABC News meteorologist Somara Theordore has been tracking the severe weather from southern Texas and leads us off.
Tonight, the unrelenting flood threat. Parts of southeast Texas seeing up to 2 feet of rain in the past week. 8 times the normal rainfall inundating the region this week. That system swelling the San Jacinto River east of Houston, flooding nearby Channelview.
It puts the fear of God in you.
Homes here completely submerged.
Most of these folks are really poor. They can't afford this.
Authorities say over 200 people in the region have been rescued so far. This man and his 3 dogs saved by police on jet skis. The water here up to 10 feet deep. Overnight, other parts of Texas also facing dangerous storm. A 4-year-old has died amid flooding south of Fort Worth after being swept away from his family. This car driving into a ditch after trying to evade flood waters. A blanket of hail amid whipping winds in Middleview, Texas, shocking this driver. And in Hamilton, Texas, this RV was picked up by the raging waters in a thunderstorm. That RV swept away. 2 dogs inside did not survive.
Hard images to see there. Somara joins us now with the forecast. Somara, what's in store in the coming days?
Well, Lindsay, here the rain is wrapping up. However, rivers will continue to swell and flood as we head through the week. All eyes now turn to the heartland. This is an area that is still reeling from storms battering it in April. Some of these same cities in the line of storms as we head through Monday. By 3 p.m., arriving at Kearney, Hayes, parts of central Kansas. 7 p.m., sweeping farther east from Omaha down to Salina, Wichita, and Oklahoma City. Then it will move eastward into the Midwest overnight. This red zone in particular, southern Kansas, western Oklahoma, has the highest risk for damaging winds. 80-mile-per-hour gusts. We could see hail the size of softballs and extremely dangerous long-track tornadoes. Lindsay?
We know you'll be monitoring it for us, Somara. Thank you. And we turn now to the unrest on many university campuses where schools across the country are ramping up security and also facing criticism. Overnight, the LAPD moved on to USC's campus to clear out a pro-Palestinian encampment. In Charlottesville, Virginia, at least 25 people were arrested at the University of Virginia's campus this weekend. And tonight, the debate over the response to the protests is intensifying. ABC's Alex Presha reports tonight from Ohio State University.
Get back! Get back!
Tonight, mounting criticism of how universities and police have responded to campus protest over the Israel-Hamas war.
You are not allowed to violate campus rules and policies and break the law. Where were the liberal administrators and liberal politicians sending in the police on the very first day? We should not have tolerated this for a moment.
Some of these protests have become very violent, and students, especially Jewish students, have the right to feel safe on a campus.
Overnight at the University of Southern California, school officials saying law enforcement had to dismantle an illegal pro-Palestinian encampment because the situation was, quote, spiraling in a dangerous direction. Over the past 3 weeks, nearly 2,500 arrests across 49 campuses. In New York, the epicenter of the protests, police now investigating hoax bomb threats against multiple synagogues Saturday. The rising tension coinciding with upcoming college graduations in the city.
I don't think we should allow anything to get in our normal way of life. We will do our job, and if the institutions decide to graduate their students and celebrate a beautiful experience with their families, we will make sure it's done in a peaceful manner.
This weekend, graduations at the University of Michigan and Indiana University were briefly interrupted by protesters. School officials in Florida say they aren't taking any chances.
We will always defend your right to free speech and free assembly. And also, we have time, place, and manner restrictions, and you don't get to take over the whole university.
Protesters are demanding schools cut ties with Israel altogether and divest from companies they say profit from the war. Though some graduates at Ohio State University tell us the protests have shifted the conversation, but don't diminish their accomplishments.
It doesn't necessarily take away from what we've done to get to today, but it kind of just changes that perspective of what do we need to be focused on as a campus, as a student body, and even ourselves personally, what do we need to be focused on?
Lindsay, Ohio State handed out more than 12,000 degrees today, and for most of the seniors, this was their first real graduating experience, as many of their high school ceremonies were canceled due to COVID. Lindsay?
Alex, thank you. In Israel, police have raided Al Jazeera's offices in the country hours after Prime Minister Netanyahu's cabinet voted to shut down the Qatari broadcaster, calling it an incitement channel. The network has covered the Israeli military operation in Gaza extensively. Al Jazeera called the Israeli move shutting down its office a criminal action, and the network says it follows professional media standards. Tensions in Gaza are escalating as a ceasefire and hostage deal appears to be out of reach. Today, Israel's defense minister signaled an operation in Rafah will begin soon. The Israeli military released this video of what it says are projectiles fired by Hamas near Rafah, where aid was being allowed to enter Gaza. That crossing is now closed. We understand the Hamas delegation is leaving Cairo, where the talks were taking place. ABC's Tom Sufi-Burge has been following the latest efforts for a ceasefire. Tom, how close are we to a deal?
Yeah, right now, Lindsay, it doesn't feel like we're close to a deal. Today, Prime Minister Netanyahu hitting out at Hamas's demand that any deal should include a commitment for a long-term ceasefire. The Israeli leader saying that would be a terrible defeat for Israel. Israel offering a 6-week pause in the fighting and the release of Palestinian prisoners in return for 33 hostages. And despite U.S. opposition, Israeli officials are doubling down on their intention to invade Rafah, that crowded city in southern Gaza. Tonight, Netanyahu lashing out at other world leaders, saying no amount of pressure will stop Israel from defending itself. Hamas's negotiating team leaving Cairo for Qatar, with CIA Director Bill Burns one of the key mediators. It feels, Lindsay, like the US and allies are in a final push to try and force a hostage and ceasefire deal. Lindsay?
Tom, thank you. And back here at home, former President Trump appearing to attack prosecutors in new audio reportedly obtained by the Washington Post as the race for the White House tightens. A new ABC News Ipsos poll of American adults shows Trump with a slight lead over President Biden, 46 to 44%. Election day is now just 6 months away. Here's ABC's Christiane Cordero.
New audio tonight appears to reveal former President Donald Trump publicly attacking and mocking state and federal prosecutors in a room full of top Republicans and donors. While hosting a multi-day retreat in Palm Beach Saturday, Trump, in the recording reportedly obtained by the Washington Post, can allegedly be heard using expletives, berating special counsel Jack Smith, who's prosecuting him for his handling of classified documents and his role in the attack on the Capitol. Even mocking Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, calling her a, quote, real beauty. Trump also allegedly compared himself to Al Capone and the Democrats to the Nazi secret police. The retreat huddled hundreds of donors and top Republicans 6 months from Election Day. A new ABC News Ipsos poll shows Biden and Trump leading a tight race as two unpopular candidates. Both candidates polled as more unfavorable than favorable among likely voters. Hoping to add a boost, potential vice president hopefuls at the retreat, the half dozen in attendance. Sources say the former president isn't far along in that process, potential candidates staying silent.
He did not bring it up. I certainly didn't bring it up.
If I'm on it, who would know? But it's not why I'm out supporting the president right now.
Still some uncertainty there. Christiane Cordero joins us now. And Christiane, the ABC News Ipsos poll shows just how tight the race is about 6 months before the election. What do we know about how the former president's criminal trial might affect voters?
Well, Lindsay, as Trump prepares to start week 3 of testimony in his current trial, 80% of Trump supporters say they'd stick with him even if he is found guilty and convicted of a felony in this case. That, however, means 20% of supporters say that they would either reconsider or withdraw their support, which is enough to make a difference in a close race. Lindsay?
Could make a world of difference. Christiane, thank you and welcome to World News. Now to an ABC News exclusive, our interview with Nathan Wade. He helped lead the prosecution in the election interference case against former President Trump and others in Georgia. But in March, a judge's order forced him to resign after it was revealed that he had a romantic relationship with Fani Willis, the Fulton County DA who hired him. Now he's speaking out for the first time about that relationship.
Workplace romances are as American as apple pie. It happens to everyone. But it happened to the two of us.
Do you regret it?
I regret that private matter became the focal point of this very important prosecution. This is a very important case. I hate that my personal life has begun to overshadow the true issues in the case.
But at some point, once that bond is there, and if democracy is on the line, as has been described, do you say, maybe we pause this until after the case is over?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll concede that could have been an approach, but there again, when you are in the middle of it, these feelings are developing, and you get to a point to where the feelings are so strong that you start to want to do things that really are none of the public's concern.
Wade and Willis have both publicly said that relationship ended in 2023. Much more of my interview with Nathan Wade tomorrow on Good Morning America and ABC News Live Prime. An urgent search is underway in New Mexico for a 10-month-old baby girl. Her mother and another woman were found dead in a park in the small town of Clovis. The baby's sister was found injured at the scene. Authorities believe the baby was abducted by the suspect who killed the women. Details now from ABC's Melissa Adan.
Tonight, authorities pleading for the public's help as they search for missing 10-month-old Elia Maria Torres. New Mexico police issuing an Amber Alert yesterday.
And we're needing some help. We need to concentrate on the recovery of a small 10-month-old baby girl.
Police believe the baby was abducted after her mother, 23-year-old Samantha Cisneros, was killed on Friday. Cisneros and another woman, Taryn Allen, also 23, were found shot to death at a park near Clovis, New Mexico. The baby's 5-year-old sister was found wounded at the scene and is being treated at a Texas hospital. New Mexico State Police believe whoever kidnapped Elia also killed the two women.
We're very concerned for the safety, location of this child.
The FBI and state police sending out canines and a dive team to search the area near where Elia was last spotted. The search ongoing as police say the fathers of both the baby and 5-year-old are cooperating with law enforcement. Lindsay, this manhunt is less than 48 hours old and investigators are desperate for any lead, saying any tip, no matter how small, can make a difference. Lindsay?
Hoping the public can help them out. Melissa, thank you. We turn now to Brazil, where at least 75 people have died and hundreds more are missing in catastrophic flooding. Heavy, unrelenting rains is causing rivers to overflow their banks. These images show a ferry boat carried away by a strong current, hitting a submerged bridge and capsizing. ABC's Inez de la Quintara joins us now. Inez, the devastation, it really seems hard to comprehend.
That's right, Lindsay. Torrential rain sweeping through southern Brazil for several days now, causing raging floods and mudslides. Many people taking refuge on top of their homes in Rio Grande do Sul. Rescue workers racing to save the many trapped or stranded by floodwaters. You can see the damage here in this drone video from the flood-induced landslide. At least 75 people have been killed, according to officials. More than 100,000 evacuated, and that death toll could still rise. Over 100 people there are still missing, and it's expected to continue raining until Tuesday. Lindsay?
Already saturated ground there. Inez, thank you. Tonight, we're a little over 24 hours away from the critical launch of Boeing Starliner spacecraft. The program is years behind schedule. The crew capsule is sitting atop an Atlas V rocket at Cape Canaveral in Florida. But mission managers say all systems are now go. ABC's Faith Abube is at Cape Canaveral.
Tonight, after years of delays, Boeing Starliner spacecraft finally counting down to its much-anticipated liftoff at Cape Canaveral. The capsule rolling onto the launch pad this weekend, expected to blast off Monday night. It's Boeing's first ever crewed mission with two of NASA's most experienced astronauts on board, Commander Butch Wilmore and pilot Sonny Williams.
This is a test pilot's dream. Oh, it's really exciting. We're actually, getting the opportunity to put hands on the sticks and fly the spacecraft.
It's shocking that in the Lord's providence and all this works together, then here we are having this opportunity.
The mission is a test drive for the Starliner, which has been grounded by technical problems, while its competitor, the SpaceX Dragon, has launched dozens of times. But a successful mission for Boeing tomorrow will allow the Starliner to be certified for long-term NASA crewed flights to the International Space Station. The capsule's launch, part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. Astronaut Victor Glover telling us this is the most important mission for the space agency right now.
There's always a fear of failure. We don't naturally belong in space, and these missions are complicated, but we have the right team and we have the right hardware and software to go execute the mission.
And Lindsay, if all goes well tomorrow, about 26 hours after liftoff, the Starliner will catch up with the International Space Station, which is traveling at about 17,500 miles per hour. Lindsay.
Lots of fingers crossed there, Faith. Thank you. And there's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday. A pastor claims his wife died by suicide, why police have launched an investigation. And later, Madonna's record-breaking concert. Next tonight, police in North Carolina have opened an investigation after a pastor's wife was found shot to death. Mika Miller's body was discovered in a park an hour away from the couple's home in South Carolina. Her husband, John Paul Miller, told his congregation she died by suicide. Some members of Mika Miller's family don't believe it, suggesting she had been abused, but no charges have been brought. Welcome news for drivers in the Northeast. The portion of I-95 that was closed after that fiery crash in Norwalk, Connecticut, is now open in both directions. Crews worked through the night and the weekend to remove the fire-damaged bridge and repair the roadway. When we come back, the photo finish at the Kentucky Derby. To the index now, and it was one of the closest finishes ever at the Kentucky Derby. 3 horses battled down the stretch to a photo finish. Mystic Dan emerged victorious by a nose. That's just the 10th time that's happened in the race's 150-year history. When we come back, the Material Girl just did something no other artist has ever done. Finally, leave it to Madonna to throw a record-breaking beach party. On Brazil's Copacabana Beach last night, 1.6 million people heading out for the Material Girl, a free Madonna concert to close out her celebration tour, setting the record for the largest standalone concert audience ever by any artist in history. Celebrating 40 years in the music industry, Fans packing the beach, lining the streets of Rio for several blocks. Madonna turning Rio de Janeiro into one big dance floor, performing her iconic songs. Her 1998 hit, Nothing Really Matters. And Like a Prayer, proving some artists are always in vogue. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir America's most watched newscast.